This is the Goliath and Leviathan show. I'm Goliath.
And I'm Leviathan, and this is episode 2. So we're still doing this thing, still getting the work sorted through, trying to find out ways of just going through all the computer technical stuff, uploading videos, just going through the behind-the-scenes features of things, and it's a bit of a challenge because it's still new for us, but...
Yeah. Well, we thought we'd start off with our first real episode of the first episode was our introductory. This is our first real episode to talk about.
Yeah.
And we want to talk about everything that's going on in the N.F.L. right now and the National Anthem with all the protests that's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's as we said before too. This show is gonna go around a variety of topics, and since each episode itself is gonna be approximately around 15 minutes or so, we're going to try and focus on each episode on one specific topic. So this one in particular will deal with the N.F.L., the whole the kneeling while the national anthem's going on.
Yeah.
And basically what our take on the whole situation is. I mean, for me personally, I mean, I do have members that have served in the armed forces, friends who are currently serving. How about you, Goliath?
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather served, and
Mm-hmm.
don't really have any friends that are serving right now. But obviously, it's a disgrace for the people that are kneeling and not standing for the national anthem because you're not supporting the military, in my opinion, if you're kneeling.
Well, I mean, I think it goes beyond that too. It's not so much about the military in itself; it's about the sacrifices that so many other people have given for people to basically live in a in the West,
And that's
in a
what
free world.
that's what the Star Spangled Banner was written for. It was
After the War of 1812,
Yeah.
during the War of 1812, but it's well, that's I mean, there's all kinds of ways of people can have a sort of a discourse, as we kind of hinted at in the introduction of things, the last episode. That there's a form and a time and a place where people can basically have a platform and basically talk about like what we're talking about, or like could be interviewed on television or radio, and they're not at the sporting event. When they're at a sporting event, though, it's like they're trying to do it for because everybody's watching, so they feel that it's okay to say something then when everybody's. But the reason why people watch sports, I mean, like I'll watch baseball, and what was kind of crazy was on the Green Monster they had, oh, racism is as old as baseball. It's like racism. There's always been elements of dissent and differencing of opinions, but there's a time and a place for it.
Exactly. If you're listening and you have a job and you're at work, do you think that it's okay to do certain things that while you're working? No, because there's rules. There's
Mm-hmm.
rules that are set. When
Yeah.
you're on your free time and you're on your own time, you could do what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a spectator, you could do what you want. You could sit for the national anthem. It's freedom of speech right there. It's your right. Even though I might not agree with it, you can do that if you want. As an athlete, these NFL players are kneeling to, trying to make a statement. Colin Kaepernick, It all started back with Kaepernick last year.
Last
during the
year,
NFL season.
yeah.
And then everyone's started posing and, started seeing that he was getting attention for it, and then they started doing it, which it really solves nothing, and I don't know what they're trying to get at.
But if you look at Colin Kaepernick, he's like, again, when people are trying to, because there's so many angles you can look at it for when people decide to kneel specifically, like they're trying to protest, whether it's the policies of the president or whether it's whether it's stuff going on within the cities but it's the fact that it's taking the element out of why people really want to watch sports. I mean, they're the patriotic. Not to overemphasize on any sort of over support of military influence of anything, but again, the more reason why people stand for the national anthem is it's about honoring the sacrifices that other people have made. It's not so much. I mean, you can look at it as, oh, this is just Goliath and Leviathan's opinion on things, but it's like the actual military people who should have more of a right than anything to speak on this subject. And for an athlete who makes millions, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to play a game, to say that they live in a country that doesn't accept them when they have been given more rights, more freedoms, more opportunities, more money to play a game, basically because they have talent
Yeah,
and they're scouted.
I feel if you're doing this, you hate America because you know what these Donald Trump, our president,
Mm-hmm.
President Trump on Friday called them out, called them sons of bitches for kneeling. You know, he says
Yeah,
he
he doesn't
says
hold back.
he says that they're disrespecting our flag and our heritage, which they
Mm-hmm.
are,
Yeah,
which they are.
yeah, he doesn't
And
hold back.
and you know what? Should have he have spoken on the topic? Maybe not because you knew that this was going to add fuel to the fire. But like there was now massive protest around the NFL yesterday with all
Mm-hmm.
the games. But he's just letting people know that you know you pretty much you're disrespecting our country. And
Yeah,
you know what? If you're not happy to be here, leave.
yeah,
That's as simple as that because there was a game yesterday morning being played in London between the Baltimore Ravens and Jacksonville Jaguars, and they had the London UK whatever national anthem going on
yeah.
being
The
played. They
God Save the
stood
Queen.
and they stood up for the whole thing. And then when it came to the national anthem, the American anthem, Star Spangled Banner being played, then they all started taking a kneel on their knees. That's so disrespectful. So you're standing up for another country's song, and then at which didn't they colonize
Yeah,
Africa?
the very Great Britain pretty much colonized the world, and
And
you look at the United States, and again, it's like you anywhere you go, it doesn't matter even if the game. I don't even know why they do the exposition games in Britain for any reason. Obviously, they're trying to spread the market,
right.
but the fact it's like it's not supposed to be a stage for politics. Again, the sports arena is meant to be for sports and for to try and take people out of that uncomfortable element of discord of like division, and people watch sports because they want to be entertained, and if it brings up uncomfortable topics, again, kneeling for the national anthem, it's kind of like disrespect. I mean, they all say, as we keep trying to bring about, is more than disrespecting the country. It's disrespecting the actual veterans who've served the country.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's certain ways to protest, and that's not the way to do it. Is to take a knee and then raise your fist. They're raising their Black Panther fist, like
Yeah,
some players. It's not.
like back in the Olympics,
Yeah,
back in the day.
and listen, there were some teams yesterday that did the right thing, like they locked arms as to show a sign of unity
Yeah,
and things like that, which I have no problem with. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you're gonna lock arms to show signs of unity that we're together and this and that because that's not at least on your knee. And even Donald Trump tweeted about that this morning, and he
hmm
said I'm not quote for quote, but he said locking arms is fine during the national anthem, but taking a knee is a sign of disrespect, and you should pay the consequences for it. And I agree 100%.
hmm I mean, uh, there's
I just agree, not to interrupt you, Leviathan, but
yeah,
I
it's
agree.
okay.
Putting your hand on your heart should be as simple as that. Locking arms and stuff isn't needed either. But I'd rather my team, if I have a
hmm
root for a sports team, do that than to have some players take a knee. You had fans in New England yesterday at the Patriots game. They had 4 or 5 players on take a knee on the Patriots. The fans were booing them.
Yeah,
They were booing them and told them to stand up. And you know what? It's going to affect attendance sooner or later if they keep
it already
this up.
is.
It already is.
It's already affecting
But
it.
it's going to affect it even more where people just aren't even going to bother going.
hmm
They're just going to be like, you know what? My team's good. I love my team. But you know what? I'm not going to support these guys because they're not supporting our country.
And again, there's always a place and a time to have your public discourse, whether you agree or disagree with the president, whether you agree or disagree with the policies or immigration or wars. There's a time and place for it, and when it comes down to it, they're trying to do it for obviously attention because millions of people are looking at them.
Yep.
So, and that they feel it's a free pass, but you're paid a boatload of money to not talk about that at that specific time.
And that's the thing that's really upsetting too is you have some owners that obviously don't care because you had the Pittsburgh Steelers that stood in the locker room yesterday. They had one player, their left tackle on the team, who served three
Three
tours in
tours.
Iraq,
Mm-hmm.
and the head coach said afterwards that he was disappointed that 100% of the team didn't participate in staying in the locker room. So you're saying that you have a problem. So if it's okay, if you have a problem with people that have a problem with players taking a knee, then you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have a problem with the player that wants to stand for the national anthem, put his hand
Right.
on his heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sick and tired of the hypocrisy from the left.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they are, because the people that are taking knees, and that are having their views on the national anthem, they're all liberal.
Oh
They're all
yeah,
liberal.
it's being pushed by the narrative from, you look at MSNBC, CNN, ABC, BBC, even PBS. I don't even really, I don't watch the news. I mean, I'll
Me
catch
neither.
snippets to try and get an idea on things. But from what I do understand there's definitely an agenda to try and push for more of a division narrative in the country, and instead of trying to divide the country, we should try to unify for a common goals and
The
things.
national anthem has nothing to do with the president of the United States.
No, of course not.
I wasn't a fan of Obama, obviously. As we go more and more on with the show, you'll know. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan. Wasn't a fan of Obama, but I never once sat for the national anthem because Obama had nothing to do with the national anthem.
Right.
Was I happy that he was our president for 8 years? No,
Nah,
but
neither was
you
I.
know,
I didn't even vote for him.
no. But at the end of the day, my hand was always over my heart when I went to sporting events. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't change anything about who's president. It's about being proud of your country,
Mm-hmm.
about being an American. It's
Mm-hmm.
about being patriotic, like you said. It's about for all the men and women who lost their lives for this
Or
country.
gave their limbs and
Yeah,
sacrificed and.
all of them who even sacrificed, who even tore. It's all
Mm-hmm.
of that, but it's just it's being disrespected right now by a bunch of spoiled rich athletes that they just are misunderstood, and they want to be have that mentality where the world owes them something.
And again, it's in America, you have a right to pull yourself up to make something of yourself.
Rich could be poor, poor.
Yeah. I mean, you have opportunities in this country, and it's more about respecting the chance that you have an opportunity to play a game, and you have options of a future for yourself. But yeah, we'll keep talking a little bit more. I guess this will wrap up for episode 2.
Yeah, and thank you all for tuning in to the Goliath and Leviathan show.
Yeah, and I guess those burgers ain't gonna keep flipping themselves, folks. Just trying to tweak around different ideas on stuff, but yeah, we'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you.
Bye.